And welcome to the Redeye stream. It is 8/13/2020, coming to you live from the Cascade Mountains. It is about 6:45 p.m. on the West Coast, and that's the only coast that matters. Am I right? Huh? Come on. I'm joined here by Dade and Doku. How you guys doing today?
Pretty good.
It's going. I'm alive and I can't complain.
I haven't used my mic equipment in well, shit, I don't think I've been on with you for about a month, so I'm surprised it still works.
Well, I mean, I don't think mics just commit suicide when you leave them alone. They're not guns. They don't just go around shooting people.
Well, they do have cords, which, according to Hillary Clinton, they're very problematic.
That is a very good point. I didn't think about that. All right, just a second.
My Blue Yeti did not kill itself. Hashtag Blue Yeti did not kill itself.
Yeti lives matter.
Yeti lives matter. That's right, buddy.
All right, so the first story we're going to start with is AMC is going to reopen about half of their theaters all around the country. And on the first day of the reopening, they got this gimmick, 1920 prices in 2020. They're going to offer 15-cent tickets. Older movies, I believe, after that will be $5. They're going to do a showing of the original Ghostbusters, Back to the Future, and Grease for $5 a ticket. And then they're releasing some 2020 movies at $10 a ticket instead of the usual. What is it now? It's not even 15 anymore, right? It's more like $20 a ticket.
You know, the last time I went and saw a movie in the theaters, which was, 2017 when Wonder Woman came out. Does that sound about right? I paid, which was the same year my eldest daughter went into the military, by the way. We paid $12.50 a ticket. And I cannot mention enough how much I think ticket prices are crap, but knowing that the theaters do not make a majority of their money on the ticket sales, and I do believe there is some recuperation going on, which is why the tickets are priced as they are. That didn't bother me too much. What gets me is I'm not complaining about the 15-cent ticket for the first day of reopening. I think it's interesting because cinema itself has been around for over 100 years. And I think if they're going to show movies from the 1920s, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they should show Fritz Lang's Metropolis. I believe that came around in the 1920s. They should do black and white silent movies, and as like if my thing would be like do a decade for every day or do a decade for every week or something like that prices, and build back up to modern prices for modern movies, not because it's just so people can not only say, holy crap, I can't believe this is how much people were paying for a movie back then, but because they're never going to figure out the inflation thing. And I'm sure Doku could probably go on a whole 5-hour tangent about that, but you get the general idea. Just give them something a little appreciative, like, yeah, back when this movie came out, it would have been this price because people were making X amount. So I don't think this is a bad gimmick. I think this is a good idea to kind of softball back into getting people to go to movie theaters, especially after all the bull crap we've had going on this year.
Yeah, I think they should have went with 1920s movies. They went with sounds like 80s movies, Back to the Future, Ghostbusters, and then they threw that wobbler in there, Grease. That's 70s, right?
78 or 79, I believe. But yeah, that's not a bad choice of movies. I mean, they're gonna get people with movies that they know. That's not a bad thing. I think for the actual people who are movie buffs, they should go a little older and get some more movies in there. Like, I was watching a video by Entertain the Elk. He was talking about the X rating, and he mentioned that the X rating is essentially the R rating in today's society, about Midnight Cowboy being an Oscar winner X rated movie, and most people, so they should go with a little more older movies like that used to get the X rating, which is, by today's standards, very mild, very tame, but gives you something to think about. You know what I'm saying? So I think they could, if they're going to do 15 cents, they should bump it up 15 cents, then 25 cents, or whatever they're going to do. Get some movies in there that are going to draw people, make that cash, and then get some movies in there that people may not know that may pique their interest. That's all I'm saying. I think this is a good idea, and I hope they succeed in it, because I'm not a fan of movie theaters, but I know AMC has been kind of getting the middle finger about a lot of things, especially with the Wuhan flu crap going on this year.
Well, I want to get Doku's thoughts on ticket prices and what movies you would put in there, because I have a different idea on movies I would put in there for 15 cents a ticket. But then we're going to get to their precautions that they're having. There is a downside to the reopening. Of course there is.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
So go ahead, Doku.
Okay, no. I had myself on mute for a second.
That's what I figured.
Yeah, no, I don't think this is a bad idea. I think it's a good idea, simply from the perspective, marketing gimmick aside, it at least gets people used to the idea of going back out, going to the movie theaters. It kind of helps break some of that stigma and counteract some of the fear mongering and crap that we've been seeing going on in like grocery stores and dollar stores and what have you. So it's a good draw from that perspective. As far as inflation goes, it's kind of a nice, fun little like side thing to point out. Like, hey, this is what it cost back then. Like, it's a gimmick. Let's be honest. It really is just a gimmick. It's a clever gimmick, and yeah, at the end of the day, to be blunt, AMC needs every penny that they can get. So if they have the rights to go ahead and play back movies, because that's really where what movies you're allowed to play and not allowed to play that's going to be the deciding factor. Because I guarantee you, they're not going to be playing many Disney movies, as Disney's trying to drive people over to their streaming services. So as long as you can get around the legality aspect of things, then I'm kind of in agreement with Dade. Older movies that you're not going to likely see in theaters that still have a strong fan following, like if you can get a Tarantino movie in there, maybe play some, maybe do like the old school Halloween, or even maybe like trying to play some of the original Saw movies. Just get as wide of a demographic of people as you can and get butts in seats. Like, if that means throwing a silent film or Bullet in there, go ahead and do it. Die Hard, do it. Like, Alamo does this thing all the time, and you got Halloween coming up. Bump it up to $1. $1, and marathon like all the Halloween movies, marathon all the Friday the 13th movies. From a business perspective, this is smart. Sustainability is going to be the real question. Like, what are you going to worry about more? Wearing a mask and dealing with social distancing, or just, I want to get the hell out and go watch a fucking movie? I think you're going to appeal more to the second.
Yeah, completely. As you're talking about that, I was thinking, first off, screw Disney. I wanted to see Black Widow in theaters. I'm not going to go to a streaming service for that, so I'll end up buying the Blu-ray DVD. But I want to go out when my daughter comes home and go take her to see Wonder Woman 1984 before she moves to North Dakota and goes to the military base there. I want to go do that, and I want to go to the theater and do it. Because it's the second Wonder Woman movie, and it's kind of a tradition for us to go see superhero movies together. I want to go do that. The thing that the interesting thing that you're mentioning was doing marathons. I think they, like you said, Friday the 13th or Halloween, they should do marathons at the prices when the movies came out, like whatever people were paying on the average for Friday the 13th when it came out. 1980? Pay that price, and then Friday the 13th Part 2, pay the price of whatever year that came out, and so on and so forth. So by the time they get up to Friday the 13th Part Jason Goes to Hell from 1989, 88 or 9, they're paying 89 or 1988 or 89 prices, and that wasn't even that much of a discrepancy for variation of prices, and that's still going to keep a person's interest, and they're still going to make a little bit of cash on the side. Because people are sick and tired of this, oh, I can't do that because of this, and I can't do that because social distancing, blah, blah, blah. I go to the gym every day and I get and give people the dirtiest looks because they want a social distance. Like, I'm going to use whatever fucking machine I want to, but that's the mentality that we're having. We've been boxed in too much. We're all suffering from massive cabin fever. We need to go out and do something. And the movies have always been one of the ways we socialized, from the just like the days of black and white film to freaking drive-in theaters of the 50s and 60s to the mega theaters of the current millennium. That's one breeding ground for socialization that we've always had, and it's complete utter garbage not to be able to do it now for whatever reason, because we've survived worse than this. Hell, people were still going to movie theaters when fucking Vietnam was happening, and that was, and I'm sorry people, but that was worse than this, because that really tore our country up. If people actually did the research, you'd find that Vietnam tore us up more as a country than this did. I'm sorry, and we were still going to the movie theaters. We were watching movies about Vietnam while the end of Vietnam was happening. Apocalypse Now. Think about the mentality of that. So yeah, going to movie theaters is a prime breeding social ground. A prime ground for social interaction. We need this.
Yeah, and Jesse Miller is there we go. I could add him to the stream now. Hey Jesse, how you doing?
Hey boys.
You know what I think? I think you should have seen the resurgence of the drive-in theater. It's not hard to get a parking lot and set up a screen and a projecting shack, for lack of a better term. Park a concession stand up in there, and you have a drive-in theater. Everybody's socially distanced anyway. They're all in their own cars. I mean, I don't know why they had to shut down all the theaters anyway.
I don't know. But before we go any further, I want to know what kind of Bluetooth you have. Blue Yay you have. I like your microphone. I've got the slate gray.
I like Blue Yays because you could do this. Of course you are.
I just think they should have transferred over back to the drive-in theater. That would have made sense to me. But the three movies I would like to see, I would keep Ghostbusters because, well, that's 2016.
I saw Ghostbusters in the theater for the 30th anniversary with AMC, and it's amazing on the big screen.
Nice. And I would have added Indiana Jones, maybe?
All of them. Well, yeah, the trilogy.
Yeah. And then I know they've done it before, but they need to do it again. A New Hope on the big screen.
No, we're going to go 1977 pre-New Hope crap if you're going to bring up Star Wars, because that's the way people, I have nothing against the Star Wars movies, but once and for all, let's put it square to the ground. The original trilogy was not planned as a trilogy. So if you want to watch Star Wars, watch the 1977 pre-New Hope version. It's basically despecialized edition. You don't need A New Hope in there. It was strictly called Star Wars, and that's how a lot of people who, like I was 3-4 years old watching that, saw it as Star Wars. That's how you got to watch the original Star Wars. Don't even sweat the other stuff. But if you're going to bring Star Wars into the mix, man, just go straight out flat 1977 era.
Yeah, that's a good point. And definitely don't do the remasters, because the whole idea here is to watch.
That's the thing, though. It's hard to get the original versions now.
That's very true. There are the despecialized editions, which I actually have, and they're originally on a very limited Blu-ray from the fans, but I have the digital versions, and they're each about 2 gigabytes. I swear to Christ, if there was some way I could get these on physical disc to you guys, I would love to send them out just for you to watch and enjoy. Because the Star Wars version on there, the despecialized edition, is the 1977 non-re-release before they added Episode 4 as a subtitle. I would love to get these to you guys somehow. So if you guys ever think of anything, just Twitter me and say, hey, Dade, I thought of this. Let's do this. And I said, oh, great. Okay, cool. Because I would love to send you guys some copies of that.
Yeah, I mean, like this 2020 and 1920 or 1920 prices thing. Why would you do this for one day? What's the point?
Well, they're only upping it, the old movies, to $5 after, and then $10 for new movies. And it looks like the new movies is I haven't heard of this, New Mutants by Disney. What's that about?
It's about X-Men.
Yeah, it's the New Mutants.
Oh, is
They had
that?
their own comic.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember them. They were like freaking GoBots or whatever, but freaking X-Men. In other words, they were the knockoff, crappy version.
No, they're just another team like Alpha Flight or
Yes,
anybody
thank you.
else. There's a lot of different teams that are lesser known in the Marvel universe. It's just they happen to make you want to know why people know what New Mutants is because New Mutants '98 is the first appearance of Deadpool. That's why people know what New Mutants is.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. So it's a Deadpool movie, but not.
No,
because that wasn't until issue 100. Deadpool has nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
He just appeared there. He was supposed to kill one. He was supposed to kill somebody.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're going to get your ass kicked here, Mad Dodge, between Jesse and myself. We could probably rear end you pretty good on X-Men alone. So please,
I'm not a giant comic nerd. I'll be the
I'm
first
not
to-
either. I'm not a giant comic nerd either. I grew up reading this stuff because that's how I learned to read. I couldn't sit and read fucking textbooks. I read the Dark Phoenix saga and the original trade paperback, and that's how I really started learning to read when I was in grade school.
When you were reading that, I would sit down with my social studies book and read it cover to cover. So we're a little bit different.
The first book I ever really read was what was it? White Fang by Jack London when I was in 5th grade, I think. That's when I started reading novels.
Did you read Where the Red Fern Grows?
Oh, that was we read that in school. You ever read that depressing ass book with The Day No Pigs Would Die?
Oof.
No, I never had to read
Oh
that.
my god, it's about this poor fucking kid who's the son of a pig farmer and they're dirt poor, and then his father dies. It is depressing.
All right.
There's one scene in the book I'll never forget. He's getting dressed for his father's funeral, and the only good clothes he has is his father's Sunday church clothes. So he puts on his father's suit, and it doesn't fit him at all, and it's just dragging on the floor, and he screams at the sky, God, it's hell being poor.
Yeah.
Depressing book.
Oh, wow. All right, so New Mutants will debut on August 28th. Christopher Nolan's Tenet to follow on September 3rd. WB is planning to release Tenet a week earlier internationally, including in Canada.
Who's that guy in Tenet? I don't recognize him.
I'm not sure. I haven't heard of any of these
He's a
movies.
new guy?
I've heard inklings of Tenet on Twitter, but I don't know what the hell it's about. I haven't taken time to look it up. It's Twitter being what it is, people pissing and bitching and moaning about stuff instead of saying, "Oh, you might get a kick out of this." I'm like, okay.
Oh, The Kingsman. I got to see that.
Is that a third one they got coming out?
Yeah, it's gonna be basically Rasputin taking over the Romanovs, and then they have to come in and settle the score. But Rasputin looks like Rasputin.
Oh, this is going to be good then.
It was awesome because they show him walk in, he spreads his hands apart, and it goes, "Generals gathered in their masses." I'm like, this is gonna be awesome.
I was surprised by the first two movies. I didn't see them until last year, and my brother Andrew is just like, "Dude, you gotta watch this," and I'm like, okay. So
They're pretty good.
yeah, they are.
And okay, so Unhinged, a thriller with Russell Crowe and Armando, I can't pronounce that last name.
Armando Iannucci's personal history of David Copperfield.
That might be interesting. I remember watching all those David Copperfield specials with my mom in the 90s and late 80s, you know?
Well, is he going to be able to make this disappear because Disney's handling it? Because I was talking to the Birdman on Twitter about this, and we didn't get into an argument. We just had a disagreement. You know, people can't agree to disagree. I don't like the fact that Disney has anything to do with Fox, but of course Fox willingly sold to Disney. So when I read a sentence that says Armando Iannucci's personal history of David Copperfield from Disney's
That's
Foxlight.
the actual book,
Searchlight
David Copperfield. That has nothing to do with the magician.
Yeah. I don't want to see Disney's Fox Searchlight. That's a bastardization of everything, because now anything that was owned by Fox, Disney's going to have their fucking paws on it, and when it gets re-released, they're going to have their damn logo on it too. And honestly, Jesse, I don't think he knew that was not about the musician, the magician.
I didn't know that. I've
never read that book. Seems like boring drivel to me.
It is boring.
Well, that's lame. Now I don't want to see that shit.
You might actually learn something, Mad Dodge. You'd be surprised what you can actually get into by watching something that you don't think you'd be into.
They are playing Empire Strikes Back. I mean, it would be nice to see a good Star Wars movie on the big screen. I mean, that's my favorite Star Wars movie.
Now, what did you think of the specialized version of that? I actually like the Cloud City being where you could actually see out the windows.
Oh, I never even noticed.
Oh, yeah. It's anytime that they're in Cloud City and they're walking around in the hallways, if you see the original, it's like very closed off. But in the specialized edition, you can actually see outside, and you can see the time changes in the day, and it's very beautiful visually.
Yeah, I prefer that. I don't have a problem with digital remasters. Sometimes they do things that look a lot better. Sometimes they do things that look stupid. So, if they go with bad, then you have. But you ever watch the original series, and you watch the original series remastered?
Of Star Wars?
Star Trek.
Oh, Star Trek. No, I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, because if you buy Star Trek, the original series on DVD, you're going to get remasters. But if you get those plastic cases that are yellow, then red, then gold. No. They're yellow, then red, then blue for the 3 seasons. Those ones are not remastered, and it's really a better show remastered because the special effects that they add in don't fit with the show.
Are the ones that you're talking about that go by the color code of the command, the yellow, red, and blue?
Yeah, the big plastic boxes.
Yeah, is that the version that gives you the choice? Because I know there was a set out there where you could watch either the original or the special edition types.
No, I think it's just original.
Okay.
I think memory serves. I mean, but those I had gotten for my son's mother years ago.
All right, before we get done with AMC here, they are going to do some precautions. They're going to have a limited menu. You're still going to get your popcorn with butter. You're still going to get soda and candy. And they'll also offer nachos and a hot dog. But you're not going to get sandwiches. I don't know if they serve beer. The theater, Cinemax, or not Cinemax, whatever it is over here. It starts with a C. I haven't been in the movies in forever, but they actually serve beer at the theater now. But I don't think AMC is going to serve beer if they do, and they're going to socially distance the seats. Some seats will be next to each other, so if you can still take a date to the movies. They're going to require a mask unless you're eating snacks. In other words, buy their food. So you can take the damn mask off.
That's fucking retarded. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I want to know how they're going to do the seating, because at my local gym, it's every other machine. Like for the ellipticals, there's 10 of them in a row, but it's every other one is cordoned off. Okay, I get that. Fine, whatever. It's fucking stupid, but at least here in Iowa, we can go to the goddamn gym. What are you going to do in a movie theater? Every other seat, literally 6 feet apart, because that sometimes would equate up to 3 seats per every other, How are they going to do this stupid shit?
I don't know, but it is all very stupid. I agree with that part.
Yeah, we were talking prior to starting about everything, that certain people were opening their pie holes about certain things, and I said, they didn't do anything back then, and now they're complaining about everything that's going on now, and it's like, we've survived worse than this.
Hey, I got a question. If they got all these classic movies opening on the 21st, how are they going to fit these in the theaters that they have in a single building? It's going to be very mix and match. So where are they going to play? They're going to have Rocky 1 through 5 available at your theater. You're only going to be able to see 3 and 4.
Aren't these multiplexes?
Oh yeah, they're multiplexes. But I mean, well, look at this fucking list, man.
No.
You got Wonder Woman, you got Tenet, you got Black Widow, New Mutants, you got The Kingsman, you got Souls later. Then when you go back to the classics, August 28th, you got the David Copperfield movie. You're already going to have Peninsula, Star Wars Episode 5. Then you're going to get into Spider-Man Multiverse movie, the Ghostbusters, Wonder Woman, Jungle Book, Tesla, Star Wars The Force Awakens, Rocky 1 through 5, House of Cards, Deadpool, Creed 2, League of Their Own, The 800, Spider-Man Homecoming, Spider-Man Far From Home, and Shrek.
God, that seems like a mess.
How are you going to get all that in one theater? So am I going to be able to be like, hey, let's go watch the whole Rocky series this week? Then it'll get there and be like, oh, I meant like 2 of them.
How many screens are actually in the AMC theater?
12.
Dodge?
Usually 12.
12. Okay. Oh, jeez. So would it be X amount of movies per X amount of screens per X amount of days?
I don't know.
Huh.
Doesn't make any. Oh, and the Goonies. Back to the Future.
Okay, we need to just cancel all the other movies and just do Goonies.
Yeah. Shuffle. But
you know what actually social distance people naturally if you offered a wide variety of good selections so everybody chose something different.
Yeah, and they're also they're going to space out the turnover time per theater, which is going to add to the problem you're talking about, because they're not just sweeping up the theater. They're going through there with like a Clorox sprayer.
Oh yeah, and you know what that does when they keep spraying everything? I learned this on vacation. It fucks up my son's clothing.
Oh, it's going to eat away at people's clothing and probably at the seats.
You go on vacation, you buy a new t-shirt, and then it's fucking orange by the time you get back. Thanks, assholes.
That's fucked up.
Pissed me off.
I bet it did. You just bought the clothes for your kid.
That's why, I don't know. I have zero respect and zero tolerance for any of these fucking fear-monger Karen little bitches out there. Personally, I say, give me a fucking Twinkie full of fucking coronavirus and I'll eat it. Then I'll laugh at your stupid ass for being such a fucking pussy and I'll be fine the whole next fucking 2 weeks. Watch me. This is nothing now. It's fucking nothing now, and it's controlling everyone's life. And I'm so sick of it. It's nothing.
I'm gonna have to send it to you on Twitter, Jesse. I saw on Facebook last night. Or
what's a Facebook?
Yeah, whatever.
It's another thing I'm banned from.
I'm on there every once in a while, but I went to Sea Dogs or whatever. It's a pirate festival a few years ago, so I'm in a group there. And for $6,500, they're selling a fucking ship.
Okay.
For how much?
$6,500.
And you're talking about an actual slope?
Yeah. Well, I think they took a modern ship and they added the other stuff to it. But I think it's a sale. I think it's fully a sale.
Is it still for sale?
I saw it last night. I'm not sure what state somebody shared. I do on my Facebook. I could find it for you after the show.
All right.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Screen share that motherfucker, man. Split some bids.
Getting back to the movie theater stuff, I would say, I guess that's a benefit to having everything digital as opposed to reel to reel, is that there's not really the wait time or the change time between the reels per movie.
You know, every time with the Star Wars prequels, I saw them each with my brother, and each single time we saw the 3 of those movies, something happened and we had to leave the theater. It was like a tradition we used to laugh about. The first time when we saw the first one, there was a fire in the food court, so they evacuated the building. The second time, I don't even remember what happened, but they stopped the movie for like 20 minutes, and we went back in. And we were like, "You serious?" Then, like the third time, what was it? Oh, the film broke, so we had to wait for like a half hour for them to fix it.
Oh God, yeah, I know that feeling very well.
Oh, I just thought of a good movie they should put in
We
there.
used to have a lot of laughs.
They should put in there the Jack Nicholson Batman movie.
Yeah, it's funny you just said that because I remember because he was talking about the film breaking, and I remember being 14 years old. The local movie theater was showing the 1966 Batman before the 1989 Batman version came out to it, and the fucking film broke.
Yeah,
So that brought some memories.
Why not put the real Batman movie in here from back in the day when you got 3 different Spider-Man movies? I'm sorry, but that Spider-Verse movie was contrived as shit.
So anybody? Okay, Doku, you've been quiet for a while. How hypocritical is it to say you must wear a mask while you watch this movie, unless you're eating that food that we sold you?
Do you want my honest answer, or do you want my toned down answer? That's the real question.
Honesty, man.
That's what I figured.
I think you're skilled enough to be honest and toned down at the same time, but we don't want that.
I don't like filters when people are talking about their feelings about these type of things because, when we're quiet, that's when they make more regulations.
All right, fine. I'll make it fun for you guys. I'll be entertaining. The short and sweet of it, it's fucking dumb. It is stupid. It's like the same thing when you're walking into a restaurant. Well, you have to wear a mask when you're entering the building, but you don't see hand sanitizer on the fucking door handles now, do you? Do I have to wash my hands every time I touch a fucking fork because somebody else might touch it? Like, I don't know, my server. Like, what about the napkins? Like, at what degree is there an acceptable level of risk? Because I guarantee
that's like the door going into the bathroom is filthy. The door coming out of the bathroom is generally clean.
That's the thing. So if you don't wash your hands, then guess what? I don't see the hand washing police. I don't see the hand sanitizer police. I don't see people who are going around saying, well, you're wearing a mask, but you touched it, so you need to throw that one away and get a new one because they're disposable and it's a surface and they can live on a surface for so long. I don't know. Are we sanitizing the dollar bills and the fucking change yet? It's stupid. It's just there to make people feel good so they can look at it and think like, oh, good, we're safe. We're never going to catch it. Let's ignore the fact that
you know how many fucking people stare at me when I walk in any place because I don't wear a fucking mask? I give them looks that fucking kill because I am ready to kill these fucking people.
Well, you know what a lot of these people say, like, oh, it's still going to catch droplets and particulates. Yeah, and you've been wearing the same mask for how long? If you don't replace it every single time you put one on and put one off or take one off, guess what's going to happen? All those droplets and particulates, that might be infected. Yeah, it kind of starts growing on the surface of the mask. So every time you go to put it back on,
it becomes a fucking petri dish.
Yeah, it becomes and also that because of the heat of your breath, it becomes an incubator too. So it actually makes it 10 times worse.
I have bad news for you guys too. I wasn't gonna say it because we're talking about entertainment news, but it does pertain to this story. The World Health Organization came out and said a mask makes it worse because
no fucking shit.
Well, no, when the droplets go through the mask, they get smaller, so they penetrate your mask and still get in your mouth. And
God, Reverse Flash, kill me now.
See, there's the thing. It's like an atomizer.
So once again, they do nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the droplets that do get caught get there and they get to fester on your mask that you're now wearing as a fashion statement, for lack of a better term, because that's really all it is for a lot of these people.
I hate these people. I hate all these people.
Well, the droplets that do get through
for my Teespring store, just making fun of fucking wearing a mask. One says thanks a lot, Karen. The other one says the stock market virus in red, white, and blue. The other one says vote for Trump if you want to take this off.
I have one of the very rare, because they pulled this fucking thing down in about 15 minutes when Razorfist did the China is asshole mask. And I got one of he only maybe sold about 100 of them. I got one of them. Boy, did I have to stand fucking their ass about getting that made, and they did not like it. I said, hey, you took the money, asshole. You're going to fucking give me my mask. Ironically made in America that said China is asshole because they said it was hate speech.
Yep, that's why I stopped using Teespring for a while, because they took down a couple of my things that I tried putting up saying it was hate speech. 2 different designs.
Nah, it wasn't Teespring. It was the other T place.
But crypto?
No, T something or other. But yeah, but you know the thing about Teespring is they pretty much told Antifa to fuck off, and they had a fit about that. And Sinatra
that's why I'm using them again.
I thought that was great.
And people realize that these are all just fucking communist corporations. Yes, I said corporations. I don't know how you lefties love corporations.
Can't remember the name. It'll come back to me, but it wasn't Teespring. It was the other one.
T-Well?
Something along those lines.
Shit. I don't even know any other T-shirt stores.
I thought it was like T-Share or some bullshit like that.
Anyway, and I've worn that just to piss people off. And I had one guy try to say, you can't wear this in the store. And I said, okay, so I take it off. Well, you have to put one on. And I go, well, I have one. Do you want me to wear it or not? They don't know what to do. So.
Yeah, my next one should just say Corona is fake. You're a fucking idiot.
All right. So I did watch Lower Decks yesterday. I think I'm going to save my review for when I make Doku sit through it with me. But I am
fuck you.
I am going to say there was one moment that made me mad, and it's not the moment that makes everybody else mad. Okay, so that'll be interesting. And then it was pretty funny because DS9 did a similar bit, and it worked for DS9, and I think it worked for this cartoon. And anybody who says it's not Trek needs to go refer to a DS9 episode. So when I do my review, I'll go ahead and tell you guys about that.
I was trying not to laugh my ass off, because I did do the rewatch when you did the Lower Decks from the other day. I was laughing my ass off, thinking, oh my god, he fucking watched that. And it's not because I hate anything modern Trek. It's just kind of like, I don't want to fucking watch a cartoon that's about Star Trek. If I wanted to do that, I'd watch the one from Filmation from back in the 60s or 70s, which was fucking awesome. But I was watching your video, and it's like, oh my god, he watched that shit. And then I actually saw the first episode, and I go, naked ass cartoon walking across the screen. What the hell? And I'm just like, okay, whatever. And I said, God's fucking speed, because I can't, one episode in, it's like, kill me now.
I don't know. I like Family Guy. I like Futurama. This isn't as good as those shows. Don't get it twisted.
Well, I think the problem I had with it was it's Star Trek. It's not supposed to be fucking Family Guy like. If I want that shit, I'll go watch Family Guy, contrived as it is these days.
Well, now here's the thing, and I'll just say it because I wasn't there when you did your review. It's not that I dislike it because of I'll still say I think the humor is fucking juvenile. I think it's some low tier fucking bullshit in regards. I mean, it had its moments, but it's sure as hell nothing I want to waste my time watching. But then again, I'll go ahead and do it for you, Dodge, because I had to sit through the last 3 episodes of the final season of Game of Thrones. So what the fuck am I missing out on?
It's such a better series without that final season.
It is. It really is. But that's a topic of conversation for another day.
Fucking Starbucks cup. Are you kidding me?
And before we go down that rabbit hole, this is what I don't like about Lower Decks. Cringe, fucking childish, juvenile humor aside, it's still more clever than fucking the worst episode, or still less clever than the worst episode of Family Guy or Rick and Morty. And then it's Star Trek on top of it. When I'm watching something from Star Trek, the last thing I want is some person going around like, yo, hey, what's up, guys? Look, we're the lower deck, we're the reject. Hey, let's get drunk. Fuck me. Fuck the mission. Blah, blah, blah. Fuck all the people on the upper decks and the bridge. Like, oh, my God, stop. Like, fucking stop. It goes completely against what Star Trek is supposed to be. Like, there's a command system and structure for a fucking reason. And then you have this person who, arguably, the main character, I'm guessing she's the main character, should be kicked off the fucking ship because she's a liability.
Doku, you remember that this show is made for the same morons that like Rick and Morty, that like fucking Steven Universe, that like that Cal Art style bullshit, that like the current She-Ra and the Thundercats Go and all
No,
that.
you know what,
fucking
Dade?
shit.
I will say Rick and Morty has its place for the stupid, reckless, aloof humor because that's what Rick is. A stupid, reckless, aloof asshole who's too smart for his own good, who doesn't care who the fuck gets harmed in his fucking aloof, drunken bullshit.
But
That's not
that's
something you expect from. But that's not something you expect on Star Trek. Like it's basically a military boat.
I'm not disagreeing. That's exactly what you don't expect from Star Trek. But it's made for that type of audience. The idiots that will go into a store as a gag saying, "I'm Pickle Rick, rub it up, dub."
Okay,
It's
that's
made
fair.
for
I
those
can't argue.
morons.
I can't argue with that. You're right.
It's and I'm not saying I'm not pulling the Brie Larson. It's not made for some 40-year-old white dude, but in a way, it is made for stupid people, not people who have any high functioning ability to do critical thinking.
I'll put it this way.
Real quick.
It's made for people who are going to laugh after they're 4 sheets to the fucking wind drunk. That's all I was going to say, Dutch.
All right. Pinoid News, $5. How you going to do a stream without me? Hey, Pinoid, you like doing serious topics. We're talking entertainment news tonight.
Yeah, no offense, Pinoid, but I wanted to talk about the Arrowverse Arrow series without you bringing politics and bullshit into it. That's why. I'm the one who requested this live stream. So, no offense, buddy.
And thank you very much for the $5 super chat. And Pinoid says, "I'm Pickle Rick, bitch."
He probably is. At least from wherever he's at, the outskirts of hell in New Jersey, I believe. Is it New York, New Jersey, one of those guys over there?
And Batman's in the chat. Dodgers suck. Fuck you, Bat. I've always rooted for the Joker. Always.
So,
all right. Go ahead and start us off on Arrow because hey, I've actually never seen it. Didn't it start off on CW? I didn't like CW.
Well, I wasn't wanting to talk about. I wasn't wanting to talk about the entire series. I was wanting to talk about. It's like, oh my! It's one of those things. I have every single DVD box set of the entire Arrowverse so far, and I just now finished Arrow. And I was thinking, I threw the video. I threw a 3-minute and some odd second video up on my YouTube, which automatically got copyright claimed and all this shit. And I said to YouTube on Twitter, I threw it up there because I couldn't do over 2 minutes of video on Twitter, so I don't give a shit. You can't monetize a guy that has 66 followers in the first place. And I said to myself, I would love to talk to Mad Dodge about this because I said I don't know if he's seen the show or not, but it had one of the best endings of any TV show I've seen in modern history because if you guys want to go, watch the video or whatever, it's on my Twitter and a direct link and everything. Because the last episode called Fade Out ties up everything. It gives everybody closure, and it leads to two things which I love. One, the fact that Oliver Queen and Felicity Queen end up together as they should, and that John Diggle hint at him possibly becoming a Green Lantern, which I don't think they'll ever do a show with him, but they ended the entire fucking 8 years, which I thought season 7 was a little weak. I thought Crisis on Infinite Earths was vastly garbage on a certain level, but they ended the entire Arrow series of the Arrowverse very well. And I was like, I tried not to cry. I teared up a little because it's very rare, at least to me, that you get to see a show that you take time to invest in pay off. And it was the exact opposite of Game of Thrones. And it was the exact, hell, even Dexter ended better than Game of Thrones, but it was the exact opposite. And I love Dexter, is the exact opposite of Dexter. And the last episode, everything came full circle. And I put on Twitter, I know that they're going to do Green Arrow and the Canaries, which is going to be Oliver Queen, and it's going to be Mia Queen, Oliver and Felicity's daughter as Green Arrow. That's fine. I'm hoping it turns out to be more like 2003's Bird of Prey TV series than it does the way they fuck everything up. So there's nobody say, well, they gender bent the character. No, it's a continuation. So fuck off with that. But I was so blown away by it. and my daughter, who is in Guam, she finished the series about a month ago. She goes, Dad, and my other daughter finished it when it first came, ended last year. She says, the other one, Tori, says, Dad, you've got to watch this. I know that you don't watch a lot of TV. I know that you're very hard pressed to be, watch this, and you're very critical about comic book character adapted shows. But here, and she sent me her copies of Arrow. And I ended up buying my own later on down the road. And I watched this and I said, for all the ups and downs, it had one of the best endings I've seen in years for any TV show. And I said, and that's why I was telling you, Mad Dodge, Dodge, I was saying, man, dude, if you get a chance to watch this, please do. Because I think if you watch no other show in the Arrowverse, because Batman, I'll tell you, they've got their fucking problems, and he's right. But if you watch no other show in the Arrowverse, give Arrow a chance, because the ending alone is worth it. It's just beautiful. Oliver and Felicity end up together as they should. And it's very bittersweet. And it's one of those shows that, unlike How I Met Your Mother, that fucking show, and other shows that have come out, it actually, like I said, and I'm reiterating that season 7 was kind of very hit or miss, but it knew when to end. And I felt it was very satisfying, and probably one of the best comic book adapted shows based on any whatever, so on and so forth, I've seen in years. And I'm talking, this is better than fucking Smallville. It's
Wait, that's a tall order.
Stop.
Like
no, it's not. No, it's not a tall order, and I'll tell you why. It didn't take Oliver Queen how many seasons to get out of high school, unlike Smallville. He discovered his abilities faster. There's more continuity and fluidity to it. And I'm sorry, but Smallville is, it's okay. And I like Tom Welling. I like Tom Welling as Superman, but he got the shaft in the worst way possible. They drug on that show way too goddamn long. Arrow, as far as I'm concerned, should have ended out at season 7, but season 8 was only 10 episodes. They finished on a high note.
Smallville. Smallville did something different with Superman, okay? They made him vulnerable. They made him actually able to get hurt because he was a teenager. And you can get hurt as a teenager. And they also added an X-Files aspect to it, where it was like a mystery. What's this thing?
He is an alien. Why would you not have anything along those lines? My point about why I thought Arrow was better than Smallville is because it's not the quality of the show, it's the length of the show. How long did Smallville go? 11, 12 seasons? That's a bit too damn long, even for a Superman show.
I couldn't stand that show.
And that's fair. I tried watching it in retrospect, and I can't get into it, but there are some good things about it. It was just too goddamn long.
Smallville, for me, just seemed like you're trying to take Superman and cram it into Dawson's Creek. That's all that show was. So if you like that show, you like Dawson's Creek. Go watch Dawson's Creek.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it. It's the Dawson with superpowers.
It is. It really is. That's all the show is. Oh, the other boyfriend is bald.
Yeah, fuck you, Pacey. You're bald now. Fuck you.
See, I don't even know their names. See, you watch Dawson's Creek.
I had daughters. I had two daughters, so of course I had to watch it.
Hey, Dade. Penoid has a angle he wants to go on after the Arrow thing, so I'm going to send him a link. It's about Terminator. We all like Terminator.
Nope.
And then Bat wanted in on this, and Bat seems to know about Arrow, so...
Well, yeah, Batman would be the only other person that I could probably talk to without wanting to kill him.
I think Felicity was an absolute bitch. She started off all right, but then they turned her into Uber Brain Girl and an absolute bitch.
Uber what?
Remember when Oliver had to keep something? I forget what it was. He had to keep secret, but he had to, otherwise his ex-girlfriend would never let him see his son.
Oh yeah, Samantha.
And Felicity. Oh well, he wouldn't tell me this, and even though I found the reasons, we can no longer be together.
Yeah, that was a potato moment. But that the thing is about that is that's actually kind of shit that would happen in real life, by the way.
Yeah, I know, but You are right, though, that Arrow is the best out of the CW superhero franchises. The worst.
The look of it is way better. It looks more like something that is taken seriously as opposed to just being thrown together. Like in the beginning, they showed him doing the actor. He's great as Arrow, but he was shit as Casey Jones. But in Arrow, the first couple episodes that I did watch for the show, he was doing Jacob Slatter. I mean, that's easy.
Yeah. One of my few complaints about was they turned Oliver Queen into Bruce Wayne and Batman, and Green Arrow is light-hearted. He's always been light-hearted in every incarnation.
Yeah, he's always got a smart-ass comment.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I've read the Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams era, and he wasn't such the nice guy.
Yeah, but even
so, more that not so much. I'm using the wrong words, but like a buccaneer or like
swashbuckler.
Yeah,
swashbuckler. Thank you.
And he can't be Green Arrow with that fucking hood. He needs the hat.
I think the problem we would have had with Green Arrow being a swashbuckler is if it's considered the best out of the Arrowverse shows, had you made him more swashbuckly, he probably would have sunk to the cheesy and cheddarness of The Flash.
Oh, no, nobody could do that. Hey, one good thing about Felicity, she never said we are Green Arrow.
Oh, thank fuck for that.
Yeah, but like, if he is wearing like more traditional garb and he's not trying to look all badass, but he's trying to look like your traditional Green Arrow, wouldn't that make him more badass if he walks into that dark world and he's still winning?
Yeah, he was doing that around season 4.
Well, he should have been doing that from the get-go. But the hat is more practical than the hood. The hood's going to get in the way of his vision. It's also going to get in the way of his hands when he's pulling the bow.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
It's not a good look. And they had it's the thing that runs through CW. They have characters. Oh, I'm going to be a mass vigilante now. I'll have 2 weeks training and I'm beating ninjas.
You see, because as you can see, when you're wearing a hat, when you're doing stuff, it doesn't fall off.
Yeah.
All right, I want to address the chat here. Ain't Jack says, would you accept a happy and cheerful Batman? Then why do you expect a vulnerable Superman? Superman has to get vulnerable to ever be beaten up. That's why they had to invent kryptonite.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Doomsday had to come and kill him in the
That's why he's got
in the 1960s. Superman stopped selling, so they invented kryptonite.
Yeah,
actually, I think it came out because kryptonite is mentioned in the 1950s show. I think it's also
even before the 60s.
It comes out in the flight. I think it turns up in the Fleischer cartoons as well. It was invented in the radio show, if I remember right, to give the guy who's playing Superman an excuse to go off on holiday.
Okay, before we go down this rabbit hole, I'm just going to finish off this stuff with the Arrowverse, the Arrow show thing. I stand my ground when I said it had one of the best series enders of modern era, and Game of Thrones can't wash all these dirty fucking swashbuckling chaps because, end of story.
The
ending of Game of Thrones was shit. Arrow's ending was everything Game of Thrones wish it could have been. So the floor is everybody else.
The worst crossover in the Arrowverse had to be the
Crisis on Infinite Earths.
No, the Earth X one.
No, I'd rather see stupid idiots in Nazi City Day over fucking squashing a 12 issue maxi series in the 5 episodes.
They had Oliver Queen as the ruler of Nazi Earth, right? And yet he's jumping about in the front lines. No, that just would not have happened.
Whatever.
There was a lot of things stupid about that. Like they had Supergirl in it. I'm sorry, but I hate that show.
I don't give a shit that you hate that show. My point is,
Supergirl isn't some great depth of characters.
Yeah,
she's an add-on. She's
exactly.
We're to just sell an extra book to go along with your main book.
I mean, come on, Batman. It's not like it's Batwoman.
We don't talk about that show here.
And we're not going to talk about a season 2 without a certain actress because, as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't fucking exist, good, bad, or ugly wise.
Okay, so
Agreed.
I don't know anything about Green Arrow. All right, lay that flat. But when Dade came to me with this idea, my initial response is, I never seen it. What is it? A knockoff of Robin Hood?
Nope.
Actually, yeah. Actually, Green Arrow was inspired by Robin Hood.
Yeah, and he was also inspired by the success of Superman and Batman.
It looks like Errol Flynn.
Exactly.
Arrow Flynn, I like it.
Doesn't he look like him?
Well, yeah, he's supposed to.
Kinda.
And that was the thing about the original Green Arrow is it was literally a carbon copy of Batman and Robin.
Yep.
It wasn't until the Neil Adams and Denny O'Neil era that the entire stuff about him getting deserted on an island came out to play.
And that's the one where Roy Harper became a drug addict.
Yeah. And
But
when it gets to comic code,
you know what you're saying about Smallville? Tom Welling never actually played Superman. It's something he insisted on. He played Clark Kent. He never played Superman.
And that's another reason why Arrow is better than Smallville.
Agreed.
You have to expect, you have
Arrow is better than Dawson's Creek.
everything's better than Dawson's Creek, Pacey.
There was too much chick flick stuff in Smallville. It had some good moments. It actually had the only decent Supergirl to be on live action TV.
I'm going to come out and say I can't believe that anybody who actually likes comic books would ever watch Smallville in the first place, because it's obvious pandering to a group of people who don't care about comic books, and that's why it's Dawson's Creek, man.
I kind of watched out of curiosity, and yeah, I had friends who watched it, so
I find that kind of thing insulting.
I think you're just hateful. No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding, Jesse.
I am hateful because a lot of people deserve that shit.
I don't know, man. I never watched
When I was
Dawson's
like-
Creek. I saw that as 90210.
I saw the
Yeah.
football movie, which I assume is the same thing.
Varsity Blues.
Yes.
Fuck, I hate having kids. Make me watch stupid shit. What year did Smallville come out? The early 2000s?
late
Probably.
2000s, I think.
Yeah,
Late
see,
90s, early
at that
2000s.
time in my life, I wasn't fucking watching TV, and that's another reason I couldn't fucking stand Smallville because it was stupid. That and the theme song make me want to fucking put a drill to my head.
Oh god, the theme tune. Total. Yeah, it started in 2001.
Okay. I'm going to tell you the only thing that here's the only thing I do like about Smallville, because it's having two kids growing up, they love the Justice League and Teen Titans cartoons. Michael Rosenbaum was fucking great. I wish he would have been Lex Luthor in the Zack Snyder movies. Somehow.
With better writing.
Exactly. But still.
Because all we got was evil Jimmy Olsen.
That's why they call him Superman's worst pal.
Oh god, that's who he was. He was Jimmy Olsen from Earth 3.
Yeah, pretty much.
But, the whole Arrowverse, what do you call him? Played Superman Returns.
Brandon Ruth.
Brandon Routh.
Ruth.
Ruth.
It's Brandon Ruth. He's from Iowa. That's how I know how to say his name.
That's funny. I knew a guy from Kansas that said Ruth instead of roof.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right, if that's how he pronounces it, that's how it's pronounced, and fair enough. But the Infinite Earth crossover thing.
Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah, you know the one I mean. When he was playing Superman, he
Yeah, he was
stole every scene he was in, even from himself playing Ray Palmer. That's how good an actor he is.
Yes. Well, then you should, if people really think he stole the show on that episode, they should probably watch him in Legends of Tomorrow, because him alone makes that show worth watching. And I think Katie Lotz has a nice ass. I don't care if she's gay or straight. But anyway.
Just don't like how the pussyfied.
If you have a nice ass, your sexual orientation does not make your ass any less nice.
That's right.
I can still
Especially
like
in
it.
that white leather.
It just makes it more of a challenge.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like you ever get hit by a gay guy. It's just like, sorry, bro.
I don't know, Mad Dodge. Have you been hitting on by a gay guy? What about you, Doku?
Once or twice.
No, I got dragged into. Well, it's
Just
funny.
take it as a
I
compliment.
got dragged into a bar when they were
No
having
pun
a
intended.
drag
Into a
show.
bar.
When they were having a drag show by my ex. And then this dude I went to high school with just runs up and gives me a hug. And I was like, who the fuck are you?
One of the lads we drank with, he was gay, and we never went to the gay bar he used to go to until this one night we got in. I got hit on by 5 gay guys in the space of one night, and the last one who turned up was says no thanks. And oh, by the way, how come I don't get this much action from girls? It's funny, isn't it?
Doku, you've been excessively quiet.
I was waiting for you guys to finish. To answer your question, let me think. About 4 or 5 times.
And he took him up on the offer 2 or 3. No.
Not even close.
This is actually a silly comment, but it's true. But you know what? What the worst thing about the Supergirl show is? Her sister's haircut.
Oh, God,
Yeah.
yes. I have a daughter who's openly gay, and she says, and my daughter will, she said, Dad, and I said, yeah, sweetie. She goes, that girl is a dyke. And I said, what do you mean? She goes, oh my God, that fucking haircut. My gaydar's going off. It's like, oh, you've got to be fucking shitting me. And lo and behold, the gayness went off the charts when she, around season fucking 3 or 4 with that haircut change. And I said to my daughter, I said, how the fuck do you know this? She goes, why wouldn't I know this? And I said, you know what? I don't want to know. I mean, there's plenty of gay to go around the Arrowverse, but god damn that haircut. That was just,
Yeah, because I think in Flash, Iris is just using Barry to get closer to Caitlin.
Well, yeah. I wouldn't. I would.
What do you guys think about Gotham? I
hate that show.
I try not to.
Different than any Batman stuff.
There's only one good actor in that show, really. That was a guy who was playing Enigma.
Yeah, Riddler was great.
Oh, no, sorry, 2. The guy who actually played the Joker and actually did the Joker.
He was from Shameless, wasn't he?
Jerome thing, yeah.
Yeah. Because that wasn't the Joker that we saw in Nolan's horrible Batman movies. It was actually the Joker.
I don't know. Look, it was a show full of gorgeous women. And the guy playing Batman was way too skinny and kind of pansy.
Oh, so Robert Pattinson, that's what he's basing his role off of, obviously.
Gordon was good. His buddy there, who was Bullock as the alcoholic, was really good. The costumes were really good as far as the villains went, but the little shot, the Batman costume was stupid looking.
Yeah.
Alfred was good. Catwoman was good.
I didn't like Catwoman. She had far too much skill at far too young an age.
Yeah. Am I the only one that had a problem with the fact that over half the villains in that show came out before Batman became Batman, and actually didn't appear until Batman was Batman?
It's probably why he keeps beating them, because they're all decrepit in that universe.
Oh, no shit. That would explain
why. The Alfred character, Alfred is a gentleman's gentleman, right?
Oh, Pennyworth is actually good.
Hold on. Part of his job is to represent his employer in business, and that's why everybody goes into that kind of job. They have they have heavy elocution lessons. They do not talk like somebody from the middle of London.
Mm-hmm.
That's my biggest bone of contention with Alfred. Apart from that, Sean Pertwee did a good job. Just he shouldn't have been using that accent.
You can blame the showrunners for that. They're the idiots that make the decision. Pretty much just like, as you know, my other daughter, Tori, she likes the Flash, and it's like, we're going to have to agree to disagree. But it's the showrunners and the people that allow the stuff to happen on the show that, like, well, Iris is a black chick. Why? Well, because reasons. Okay, asshole. Then why does Alfred talk like he's got something stuck up his bum? Well, because the showrunners allow it.
I sometimes like the Flash.
No, I'm not arguing against it. I'm just saying it's the showrunners that allow things to happen.
Yeah.
One of the things with the Arrow show is up until seasons 7, Greg Berlanti was pretty much running the whole show, and in season 7, a chick takes over and the fucking flounders. So for the last 10 seasons of season 8, Berlanti comes back and straightens shit out. It's the showrunners that allow things to happen.
Oh, yeah.
The bad and the ugly.
Well, you know the girl who acts as I keep forgetting the names. Who acts as Thea Queen.
Willa Holland.
Yeah, I hate her in Arrow. Right, I absolutely detest her. Seen her in other stuff, and she's brilliant.
Yeah,
that's the mark of an actress. That's not somebody who can do their craft.
And that goes back to the Brie Larson issue. Is like, I've seen stuff with Brie Larson in it before she got her fucking first Oscar and became a Jack Hat, and she's okay. And then you see her in other stuff, and she's absolutely sus. It's not always the actor or actress; it's the writing and how things are handled.
I think it's a bit of both of her. I've seen stuff before she got famous, and I've had to be reminded that she was in it because she's eminently wooden.
King Jack has a good way of saying it. Gotham was a mob show that wore Batman's skin.
Ooh,
nice one. Yes.
Nice. Now, had they made that more, if they had not had no Batman in there and they would have made it more about Jim Gordon, I think it would have been perfect.
Yeah, well, it was called Gotham. It should have been about Gordon, and it should have ended with the Waynes getting shot.
Yeah,
I like that cute little fucking blonde on that show too. The crazy one, yeah.
Oh yeah, she's actually an English actress as well.
She's fine, know that.
Do you know what I think the best sort of superhero show to date is? Doom Patrol.
Yeah.
I never saw Doom Patrol, dude.
Oh, it's brilliant.
I know people talk about it a lot, and there's so much stuff out there I've never seen. But then when I'm surfing through shit looking for something to watch, none of this stuff is ever on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The reason I like Doom Patrol is it mixes all the generations together.
Yeah, it's also.
We were talking about that, weren't we, Batman?
Yeah, it's the surrealness of it as well. I mean that religious fanatic cockroach.
I like that Timothy Dalton is in it.
Yeah. There's season 2. They even introduced his daughter, Dora, the ape-faced girl.
Mm-hmm.
But Jesse, if you can find Doom Patrol, I suggest you watch it.
All right. Where you get shit like that when you go to the comic convention, you just get the guy's card and be like, I want this entire series, and then he'll just mail it to you for a price. This guy has so much. They're like, it doesn't matter if it's been released. We take it out of the studio vault. What? I don't even want to know.
I'll do one better. I'll post a link in the side chat right now.
Yeah, when it comes out,
copy and paste that and start hunting down Doom Patrol before it comes out on season 2 at least. I mean, I've got season 1 on DVD, but this is how I watch my stuff before I buy it on DVD. Now, I don't know if anybody else has been paying attention, but fucking Stargirl has been excellent.
Yes, it has. It got better as it went along as well.
And the season ender season ender rivals almost any Arrow season ender.
Thank you for reminding me. Stargirl is one of my favorite DC characters as well, but I think they deliberately let her have easy wins all the way through just to pull the rug out from under so she'd have a really big fall.
Nerdette's Newsstand has been doing videos about Stargirl, and she's got a kind of high-pitched voice and a little whiny, but she's a good kid. And she does reviews of each episodes. And if you guys get a chance, go watch Nerdette's Newsstand on either BitChute or YouTube.
Yes, so does The Rise Unlimited.
All right, so I have something else. It's kind of entertainment news, and this might get Goku to actually talk. All right, so Trolls 2. Yeah, they're putting out merchandise. Awesome, right? Every little girl wants one of these stupid little troll dolls. You know how you activate the troll doll?
MC, Matt, we're not buying you one.
I don't want one. I don't want one. But you know how you activate them? You lift up their skirt and you push a button for fucking 5 seconds between their legs, and they start to giggle, and then commands.
Oh God,
Didn't
not
they
this
used to do that
shit.
shit with
I
the
remember.
tummies? It used to be a button on the tummy or something that you could just press.
Or on the back.
Yeah, it's supposed to be on the stomach or on the back. Yeah, they put it between the legs. Thank you, Disney. You're not even trying to hide it anymore.
Yeah, and the Birdman 13, or sorry, the Birdman 15 on Twitter wonders why I distrust Disney touching Fox Studios and any of its characters like the X-Men and all this other shit.
You're not like exaggerating this. This is real.
This is
Yes,
real.
it's
yeah,
real.
Yeah, there's a bunch of moms going to the stores and not buying the toy, but recording it, putting it on TikTok, Facebook, shit like that.
So Jesse, I'll describe to you what this is. It's a troll doll, like the long-haired, from like the 80s and 90s troll dolls. It's a little bit of a larger size. It's plastic. It's not that annoying like rubbery plastic shit that they used to use. It's like actual plastic doll. And to like start the doll up or like to reset it, whatever the hell it is, like to activate it, you position the legs out front, and it's like wearing a skirt, panties underneath it, and you set it down. And as you set it down, there's a button. I'm sure you can guess where that starts the doll. Well, if you go to push the button, it makes noises like "oh" and "hee hee." It's there's no way that this went through quality control and somebody didn't raise an eyebrow. Like, do you really think this is a good idea? Like, this is a children's toy. Like, are you guys for real? Like, I can understand someone making the argument of like putting Illuminati pizza imagery on a T-shirt that Walmart or Target is selling. That could be a troll.
Mm-hmm.
This is a multi-million-dollar international corporation with contracts with multi-million and multi-billion-dollar international companies. There is no way that you built this thing, went through the design process, quality control, all that shit, packaged it, shipped it, and put it on store shelves without one person looking at this going,
What the
"Are
fuck
you
is
for
this?
real?" Yeah, there's no way. Like, there's no fucking way.
You just couldn't make this shit up, could you?
No, you can't. I thought it was a joke. I didn't even realize it until like 2 or 3 days after this like started blowing up, and I saw one person doing a video of it on Twitter. I was like, no, there's no way. It can't be that bad.
I bet
20 seconds in.
I bet
Yes.
Alex Kurtzman bought one.
Or 10.
Yeah. And that guy who did the New Warriors, I bet he bought a box load.
I'm
Probably.
betting Joe Biden actually has stock investments in this.
Don't be silly. Joe Biden is one of them.
Oh.
He's like
Either way, it's really fucking disturbing.
I think it's really funny
But yeah,
that Kamala
and
Harris is going
give my generation bullshit about Megatron being a gun.
Oh yeah, I remember that crap. That was
Yeah,
that's another rabbit hole.
there is some people
Figure this
coming
out,
out
though.
saying like, "Oh, whatever, it's just where the button is. Get over it, you busybodies, you Karens." No, this is for a toy for little girls. Like, my 4-year-old daughter would want this fucking stupid troll, and we got to tell her no now because that's fucking weird.
Well, and you know what? It's
You're the
it's
dad.
about-
You can
it's
say
about where the-
whatever
hold on,
you
Dave.
want. Sorry.
hold on, Dave.
Yeah.
It's about where the button is. Yeah, but it's not like you sit the doll down and it goes hello or hi or how are you today. No, you sit it down or you touch the button between its legs and it goes oh and hee hee. No, dude, that shit is intentional.
Does it also go? You shouldn't touch me there.
It should.
Yeah.
It should have.
With the rape.
It should have a hidden function of I need an adult. Mad Dodge. You're the dad. You're the dad. You can buy
I was
whatever
trying
the
to
fuck
think
you
of an
want.
Elmo joke, but I couldn't.
Yeah, just reprogram one of them so that when somebody touches it, it starts screaming rape.
I'm sure there probably is somebody smart enough that knows how to hack into there and do that shit, and they should. Because essentially what this is premeditatively teaching kids is it's okay to touch things, in certain areas that you shouldn't know about yet. Of course, we also live in a country full of stupid people.
You and me both. It's starting over here. What's been going on pell mell over there about trying to include a certain demographic of the population into the LGBT whatever community.
I think we got one up
right now
because of VP picks. So
yeah.
Well, to be fair, though, the Trolls movie is produced by DreamWorks, but it's released by Disney. So there had to be a joint conversation here about the merchandise because it's the mouse, and the mouse always gets his money.
Well, and
Remember,
here's
the
the
mouse
thing.
created Miley Cyrus. Don't forget that.
Is this being produced? The one thing I want to know is this being produced by Hasbro or it wouldn't be Mattel, would it? Pretty sure if it's Disney, this would have to be Hasbro, right?
I didn't buy one. I'm not quite sure. And Ace, if you're talking about the troll dolls, we're talking about that right now. That's what we're talking about.
But guys, got to hop over here because it's about 11 for Strangeness, and that's almost over. So I ain't missing them. But thanks for having me out.
Right.
You guys.
Hey, take care, Jesse.
Later, Jesse.
thank you for being on.
Of course.
But yeah, when it comes down to this, I could write it off that this was just an incredibly vapid and unself-aware design flaw.
When you're on about Mattel, you do know they got a Barbie in a wheelchair, Barbie with a prosthetic limb, a one that's
I remember hearing about that.
be a lesbian, and a black Barbie with that skin condition that gives her white patches. It's just fucking stupid.
I'm gonna go. Sorry, Doku. I don't mean to interrupt, but I got to make this point right quick. I have to defend Barbie to an extent because Barbies are meant to represent every girl in the world, and I don't necessarily. And as a father of two girls, I don't think it's necessarily bad if you have a disabled Barbie.
As long as it's not done for the sake of pandering, it's just the way
that's true. I'm not arguing that. I would never argue that, but I don't think little girls who are disabled should be excluded. I think it's a good thing that there is something out there for them to say, hey, yes, I get this. Yes, I can relate to this. And not only does it bring them joy, they know that they're being thought of. But if it is strictly for pandering purposes, no, I'm not for that.
Generally, that's what all of these things are. They're for pandering purposes.
Not certain ones. And we're just going to have to agree to disagree on that.
And that's an argument that's a lot of weeds and not a lot of trees. So I understand both sides of the argument. I would say that coming from a franchise like Barbie, it's safe to say it's probably done more likely than not for the sake of pandering. But who knows? I never saw the designer of this particular Barbie doll give their reasoning as to why. So I'm guessing it's just we're not selling enough Barbie dolls. What can we do? And that's my guess. Anyways, I could be totally wrong.
No, but that's also
just the way it works. Oh yeah, I have no problem with people being capitalistic and opportunistic as long as for the right reasons. And if it's not for the right reasons or reasons I disagree with, well, guess what? Nobody's free of criticism either. So that's where I stand on it.
Doku, this is coming from the chat. Ace says the LOL dolls are different from the troll doll. I don't know what he's talking about. Do you?
I've heard that this is a troll doll, but I don't know if they're the same. I don't know that.
No, he said there's a different issue here. It's a separate thing.
And all I know is I saw I don't really care what the doll is. All I know is that this particular design, again, if it was a hey, hello, how are you type of thing, I could look at it and understand the argument. No, it's just a really stupid design. It's the audio that fits with it that makes it a very, very big pause for concern. I would be saying the same thing if this was anything else. It's not about the fact that it's a troll doll. It's about the design of this doll that's marketed towards girls well below the age of puberty. That's where I'm taking an issue with.
Yeah, if you have audio in there where, you know, like when you have baby dolls, the baby dolls sound like babies cooing and crying and everything, that's fine. But when you've got a doll making weird ass fucking sexual type noises because of, you know, it's like no, that's it. Okay, no.
Well, and to touch on what Ace said, because I just saw the headline you pulled up. If it's called LOL surprise, doesn't that make it even worse? Like you put your finger between the doll's legs and it makes a cooing or a laughing noise, and the doll's marketed as LOL surprise. Bro, are you for real?
No, this is a different thing. You put it in cold water and it reveals the doll wearing lingerie.
Right.
Okay,
So
you
don't press the button.
That's a different kid.
Fuck's on what drugs?
So you don't press a button and it doesn't say in a deep masculine voice, "Oh, the LOL surprise."
Oh God, damn it, Batman!
You being Nick.
Okay, no, and then you have California wanting to legalize the age of consent as 14. What is going on right now in this country? I don't want to get political, but this is getting kind of fucking weird, right?
Well, you're getting political. This is supposed to be entertainment, not politics.
It kind of connects.
Hey, are you watching this?
Are you seeing this headline? Because I don't even want to scroll down and show the pictures.
Yeah, I'm seeing the headline, and that's nothing. That's nothing like a Barbie doll. That's just fucking mentally ill.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are certain things that can be construed as walking a fine line. Like, you know, everybody was complaining about the Bratz dolls when those things came out because, you know, girls of a certain age shouldn't be wearing makeup. You can make an argument there as to like what is age appropriate and what isn't. This one, I'm going to go ahead and take a hardline stance. This is not age appropriate, especially for the demographic it's being marketed to. Like, there's no way that you can make that argument.
When you go on
not in my world.
When you go on about girls' makeup, there have always been, I suppose, what you would call socially educational toys for girls that teach them about makeup.
Yeah, when my sisters were, you know, little girls, they always had makeup kits. Hell, they've had makeup kits since the fucking 1950s for girls.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't for you to dress up as a tart. It was because you always wanted to emulate mommy, and mommy wore makeup. Mommy had earrings.
How many times have you, when you were a kid, known a girl whose hair sprained an ankle because they've been walking about in their mother's shoes?
Yeah, we came from the fucking 80s, and we had Madonna prancing around with what she did. And I remember girls doing that too, and my dad just rolled his fucking eyes. I mean, I'm not defending anything here. It's just that, you know, yes, there has to be a line drawn, but it's also a matter of perspective. Do we as adults now, who were kids in the 80s, think this is any more inappropriate than what it was in the 80s when we were kids and our dad and our parents were thinking, is this appropriate or not? It's all a matter of perspective.
Yeah. I was a kid in the 70s,
but you get the general idea.
Yeah, I mean, I remember one of the things there because my mate's sister had one of those makeup kits with the mannequin head and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she basically told that it's just for you to play with. It's not real makeup. You'll be wearing real makeup when you're grown up,
right?
And not to hurry up. That's one of the messages we always got as kids. Yeah, take your time growing up.
Yeah. And speaking, you know, because they were advertised as toys. They were also, they're showing you how. Then, you know, I having two daughters, they also still had those when they were kids, how to do their hair. They could learn to apply makeup, and it was considered a fashion accessory. And it was a toy, and it was a fashion accessory. And some people, like fucking people from the baby boom generation, oh, that's inappropriate. You're the idiots who thought this shit up in the first place. So who are you telling me to, you know? And these are the same group of idiots that, you know, like Jack Thompson and shit, well, that Grand Theft Auto causes people to kill. And it's like, yeah, there's numerous studies. And this is staying on the topic of entertainment that say, yeah, that video games help certain kids with certain conditions release a lot of excess energy and focus.
The whole video games causes people to kill. It's exactly the same as that Dr. fucking Werther in his book Seduction of the Innocent about
Oh
comic
God,
books.
that fucking Kraut.
But he was American, I think. It doesn't.
No,
like,
he's German.
It doesn't
It's
matter.
from Germany.
But well, it doesn't matter where he's from. He was wrong.
Exactly.
When you look at comic books, because of comic books, I was reading fluently. By the way, by the age I was 4.
Yeah.
You look at a comic book, they, especially like the superhero comic books, they show words new to child's vocabulary, but you don't just see the word; you get to see it in an image, which shows it in context.
Yeah, and that's what I was explaining earlier on in this is I learned to read well above my grade for my age because I read comic books. I read the Dark Phoenix saga. I read Spider-Man comics. I read Batman. You know, I read the Neil Adams and Denny O'Neil Green Arrow and Green Lantern stuff. I read stuff that by today's society is considered taboo, but back then, or not taboo, mild, but back then it was severely taboo. And I learned what not to do because I saw Speedy being a drug addict. And I said to my uncle, Anthony, I go, what is this guy doing? He goes, he's doing drugs. I said, why? And he goes, because he has these problems being a sidekick. And you sit down with your goddamn kids and say, this is why you don't do something, and you let them make up your own mind. You don't tell them or dictate what they can and can't have for entertainment. I mean, now, Mad Dodge, I'm going to bring you into this. You're a father. Your daughter is X amount of years old. You as the parent have right to say, look, sweetie, until you're a little older, I don't want you playing with this doll because I believe it's inappropriate for you. But she's going to grow up, and you're going to say, you know what? You're old enough to make your decisions, your own decisions, and then she'll be able to have some toys and then probably move on from there to find something more better than worrying about fucking dolls or whatever. And who knows? Because bringing it back to the other point to finish this off is when you have toys that get you into fashion or makeup, you don't know if they are going to be inspired to become creative. That's what those toys were meant to be. But my point is simply, comic books are a form of entertainment and medium that give the opportunity to the reader to think for themselves, to imagine, to see the words put to pictures, to get something good out of it. And you would be surprised what you learn because the people writing these things aren't dullards. And that's the thing that a lot of people don't know. It's like, oh, it's a comic book. It's stupid. It's like, you should, do the background on who writes these things and how well they are or are not educated.
Yeah, you should also crack one open if you're that convinced.
Yeah.
I mean, I've told you about my English teacher confiscating a Spider-Man comic off us and after the weekend and asking us if I had any more.
Let me guess that you caught him reading it, huh?
He caught me reading it and he confiscated his off us.
I bet he was reading it too when you weren't looking.
No, he read it over the weekend. That's why he wanted to know if I had any more, because he said, exactly what I told you about how the show, not just words, but concepts.
Yeah.
In a context where they're easy taken on board. Said there'd be a great educational tool.
You could read Giant Size X-Men from 1975, the year that I was born. The one that first has Colossus and Storm and Nightcrawler and Wolverine. And you could read that issue and get the introduction of the new characters and then the old characters. And you would have people from different nations who had different powers and different abilities. And you would sit down and you'd read the story about them going on an adventure. And you would learn a little something about some other part of the world because of where they're from. And it's not even remotely social justice shit, unlike today. But it opens your mind to new possibilities of, this is interesting. This is outside my realm of what do I know in the world, besides me going to school and all this other stuff. And it gives you critical thinking skills of what if.
Yeah.
Well, also something to point out, real quick, something to point out about comic books. There have been a lot of the classics that have been illustrated and put into graphic novel form. But for all the people out there that think like, oh, comic books are still juvenile, I would make this argument to you and consider it. Let's say you're going from a picture book, like a Dr. Seuss book, that are still colorful. The image and the art still tends to be rather basic. Then go to a comic book and look at the type of dialogue. Look at how more intricate the artwork and the imagery actually is. Look at the expanding color palettes that you get. It might be okay for a kid to start out with Dr. Seuss, but they're going to get bored of that because it's really basic. Give them a comic book. It doesn't have to be Civil War or, you know, Dark Knight Metal. Give them just your standard Spider-Man, Batman comic book. It deals with larger concepts that are, you know, not green eggs and ham, but actual real world social issues that a kid growing up, especially if you're not, you know, you're not the type to sit down and read a wall of text with no visual assistance or imagery. It's a really useful, it's a really useful learning tool, not only for expanding vocabulary, but because the characters tend to be darker and more complex. They deal with a wider variety of emotions that you will encounter usually in the real world, assuming we don't live in upside down clown world, which is unfortunately kind of pushing now.
But there's another thing comic books do, which none of you have mentioned, and it's a vitally important thing as well. They expand your imagination.
I said that.
I didn't hear you say it. I apologize, but yeah, and imagination is a very important tool, especially in the real world.
Yeah,
because it helps you solve problems.
Yeah, it's like I said when I was to reiterate when I was talking about Giant Size X-Men #1, it gives the child or whoever is reading it to broaden their scope of there's something more than outside my window than just the yard and going to school.
Yeah.
It broadens their horizons, their imaginations, and they get creative, and then they want to start not necessarily put pen to paper, but they want to do more.
Yeah.
They want to learn more. They want to see more. And again, that's why I said, you know, people that say that these are for dumbasses is like, yeah, you know, go back and read the stuff that you think is so juvenile, delinquent. See the people writing it, how high their IQs are and their world experiences. It's pretty much akin to a person can read Lord of the Rings and think it's this great fantasy tale, but if they knew anything about J.R.R. Tolkien and what he suffered, why he wrote the story and how fantastic it is. And there have been comic illustrated versions of this, by the way, mind-blowing.
Yeah, like Lord of the Rings was Tolkien basically dealing with what he had to go through during the war.
But that's my point. Some people, you put it in a comic book form, they're going to get the visuals because not everybody's a straight book reader.
No, I used to be, then I got a computer. Computers really do ruin your reading.
So yeah, and I, you know, so going back to everything in regards to entertainment, going back to the movie theaters to round this out, I don't think AMC is doing a bad thing. I think it'll hopefully give a new generation of people so stymied by the stupidity of the goings on in the world something fresh to look at. I mean, you know, if you get some kids, I've seen Back to the Future. Yeah, you've seen it on a fucking TV. It's not the same as a fucking theater screen.
God, no.
So, you know, you would hopefully that kid, even if they've seen Back to the Future as an example or Star Wars as an example on their fucking 60-plus inch flat screen at home, big whoop-de-doo, it's not the same as going to the theaters, and they'll get an experience that may supercharge them or their imagination or give them a vibe that because this happened at AMC, I want to go out and do this. It's pretty much like that. I love this episode and I pissed some people off. And I don't give a shit. Fuck you. You know, I don't care about Twitter, but I pissed one Star Wars fan off and I said, I thought that Malcolm Merlin and Damien Dark had a good idea about basically offing George Lucas to where he doesn't make the Star Wars films. And that was the Legends of Tomorrow episodes. And I thought that was fucking brilliant because the legends fighting Malcolm Merlin and Damien Dark, you know, which these characters were inspired by George Lucas to go deal with George Lucas and inspire him to make shit that inspired them. The legends become the legends. It's you know, that's the kind of thing. It's because they saw it in a theater. They got it from a perspective of I saw it on the big screen. I was out and about doing my thing, and it broadened my horizons instead of being stuck at home watching it on a fucking 60-inch plus flat screen TV, which dulls your senses in a way.
Well, even if it's just a dumb eye candy action flick.
Yeah.
You go and see it, you're going to enjoy it 4 times as much because it's a shared experience.
Yes.
It's like the old story, the old storyteller, which is still an integral part of human society. We still need the storyteller, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, TV that used to be TV because we only had 3 channels. And
If people are wondering what Batman's talking about, go look up the introduction to the Amazing Stories TV show, where there's, I think he's Australian from like the outback or Aboriginal or whatever, but there's these people sitting around a fire, and the old man is telling the story. That's how we pass along our legends instead of the fucking internet and all this shit. That's a visual representation of what Batman's talking about.
Like I was saying, back when there was only 3 channels. We basically all watch the same stuff. And the following day, either at work or in the school playground, that's what you're talking about, what you've seen on TV the previous night. And everybody's saying the same thing. And that kind of thing bonds people together, bonds societies together. Shared stories are important. We don't have that nearly as much now. Especially not with the people who live around us. Because you're watching your programs on your TV in your room, your sister's watching it in another room, your father's in the den watching his shows while the mother's watching her shows in another room, and that actually separates us.
Yeah, and it really does. I know that if you guys have ever seen something on TV and your friend saw it on TV, and you have a very heated discussion, which may or may not lead to like a 5-minute schoolyard brawl over a minute detail, that's critical thinking, because you're seeing it from your perspective and you're getting something from another person's perspective. And then later on, you find out that both perspectives are correct.
Or you find both perspectives are wrong.
Exactly.
I was never wrong.
Yes, you are. You're a Dodgers fan. Of course you're wrong.
Well, at least he's not a Major League Soccer fan or football fan or whatever those fuckers that just got booed at. But again, finishing off everything, coming full circle, I think AMC is doing a good thing. I think it's a publicity stunt, but not necessarily a bad one. Hopefully, people will go out and do it, give them a little bit of cheddar cheese for their efforts, and get that very much sorely missed social gathering need that we all have. I mean, we can all be individuals all we want. Some of us are better off working alone, but we all still need social connection. And I hope AMC is able to provide that, regardless of how fucking ridiculous the addendums are for doing so.
Jack says libertarians by definition are always wrong. Hey, if I'm not allowed to talk politics, nor are you.
I was reading what he said before that we still do that when we go camping in the US. In Korea, we go to the mountains to tell stories, go to the temples to listen to stories and such. Yeah, but it's not the same as in your communities. I remember my grandmother telling us there was always somebody telling us, just stories. In the local villages. No, what wasn't anybody whose official job it was, but
but that we can't even have movies in the park anymore, right? So I stumbled across this on Facebook as well. There was a local flower. They sell flowers and shit, right? And they did a movie in the park thing, and sold soda and flowers, and the kids could watch a free movie. They got their hands on the Song of the South, right?
Oh yeah.
And they played it. It's a classic movie. And there's just people wigging out all over Facebook, giving them bad reviews, calling them racist. Disney still sells this movie, by the way. I found it on Blu-ray for only $20.
Yeah, I think we've discussed this before, Matt, because it wasn't racist, not even by today's standards, because that's how poor people in the South, not just black people, but poor people in general, behaved like the old black guy in that movie. They talk like that as well, white people and black people.
Well, that goes back to what I was saying earlier, is that in regards to entertainment always changes, but you got to try to find some value out of it. I mean, people that bitch and piss and moan and whine about certain things like the scuff. And I know that who the hell was it that they said, well, we're showing a disclaimer before we're showing Gone with the Wind. Oh, they got bitch slapped hard. And to say, well, this movie's racist and may offend somebody. It's like, no, it's a visual aid for a historic learning tool. Yes, it's romanticized because it's really about Scarlett, her life, and Rhett Butler having a romance during the Civil War in the South, but it has very good historical accuracies put into a physical, entertaining medium. I mean, if you really just want to, if you really just want to go to the very basics of what the Civil War was about, go fucking watch the Ken Burns documentary on the Civil War and fuck off already. But when it comes to stuff like the Song of the South or Gone with the Wind, that's a visual, entertaining medium. Leave it the fuck alone.
Can you remember the film Zulu from 1964?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Apparently, I just recently found this out 2 years ago. They got people were shouting that it was racist and degrading, and they got blown out of the water. And you'll never guess who by. The Zulus who were playing the parts in the film.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure they did.
They were all those black guys in the film. They were all Zulus, real Zulus, but.
Yeah, because they insulted the fuck out of them. That's why.
Yeah, they said it didn't insult anybody. In fact, it portrayed it pretty accurately as the stories that their grandfathers had told them, and it actually brought great honor to these people because it didn't show the Zulus as savages and it didn't show the white guys as monsters. It just showed them as soldiers, both sides.
And we also have to remember who's doing all the fucking complaining. People that are essentially bored fucking housewives with nothing better to do that probably need to piddle themselves while their husbands or whoever else is away instead of whining about shit.
Like that's another thing I've heard somebody say before that people complain more when times are at the best.
Oh, what is there is it's a circular situation.
Bad times breed strong men. Strong men bring good times. Good times breed weak men, and weak men bring bad times.
Yes, thank you. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, but like it says, when times are at their best, that's when people complain the most.
Yeah, they really do. And in regards to entertainment, the AMC thing, people should be appreciative of this. I'm sure we're probably going to hear complaints about it. I wholeheartedly support AMC's efforts to do this because they've not only been getting the middle finger because of the Wuhan flu and all this other bullshit, but they want to take people back to a simpler time and give them a chance to appreciate said simpler times. I mean, like I said, go out and see the movie Back to the Future on the fucking big screen and have a shared experience, even if the shared experience is under the situation completely stupid, rather than sit at home with the same 2 or 3 whatever how many people are in your family that do or do not like the film. And I would say that with anything. I mean, if you can go see something on the movie screen, great, go watch it on the movie screen. If you're talking about Arrow or see anything on TV, it's designed for TV, and people watch different TV shows at different times with different groups of people. It's not the same idea. Don't ruin somebody else's entertainment because you're a jackhat. That's not a political thing. That's just being a good human. I mean, we can all here agree to disagree on the CW. Good, bad, ugly, whatever. We all have something what we either do or don't know about it, do or do not like about it. But we're not, to use a layman's term, we're not going to go to bed angry over this shit.
No. Another thing about Supergirl that pissed me off. Dean Cain was in it, right?
Oh yeah, they killed him off. They killed
why?
Yeah, they fucking killed Jeremiah Danvers off. And I've talked to Dean Cain about this. I said, how come you weren't involved in Crisis on Infinite Earths? And he goes, they never asked me. And I'm like, oh shit. And he goes,
you know why?
Yeah, that'd have been kind of neat to been Lois and Clark again.
Do you know why?
Yeah, because he's Republican. That's why. conservative.
because Melissa Benoit found out he was a Trump supporter and insisted that he be dropped.
Yep. So,
And he was one of the best fucking live action Superman that I've seen.
and that's always, this isn't getting political. It's always, it just goes to show the people's herd mentality of, oh, you're the worst fucking Superman ever. And I'm like, dude, that's really all you've got. You've obviously never seen the show and how funny it could be.
Oh, if ever he remarks on any of my comments on Twitter, he's always calling me Mr. Wayne. So I'm always calling him Mr. Kent.
All right, so we got about 15 minutes left. I got a final topic. All right, best Disney cartoon: Tailspin or Gargoyles? That's right. You only get 2 choices. Doku. Unmute. Gargoyles or Tailspin, and why? That's it. That's the only choices. That's all there is. No.
I hate you. I'm gonna go with Gargoyles, actually.
Okay, no, the real topic is Gargoyles, because I figured that's what you were going to say.
Motherfucker, you need to let the rest of us answer that because we may not agree with you.
Okay, fair enough.
Batman, your turn.
Okay. DuckTales, because I don't obey your rules. You knew I was going to do that, didn't you?
Yes, I knew that. I'm also going to follow in suit with the Batman. Fuck you, gummy bears.
Well, this went south quick.
Hey, I'm sorry, but if I'm going to have to come out as a fur fag, a couple of them gummy bears got some nice asses.
You're all a bunch of fucking anarchists and perverts.
Yeah, that's one way to take your midlife crisis.
No, but seriously, I liked Gargoyles better because it drew from mythology, especially Shakespearean lore, which was very rarely done, even up to this day in a child's medium. And it was very dark. It was actually kind of mimicking Batman the Animated Series, but it gave us a lot of likable characters and touched on some very serious topics, and it didn't shy away from characters suffering consequences. So Gargoyles.
I never actually saw it, so I can't comment on it.
Give it a shot. You'd find it. I think you would like it.
Possibly.
Yeah, it was for a Disney cartoon. I think it's the darkest one they had, at least in the 90s, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, of anything, I mean, I think tone-wise, timbre-wise, for storytelling, I hadn't seen anything that dark since The Black Hole from, what was that, 19...
Oh, God, I hated that movie.
Well, like it or hate it, that's my point. That was really one of the last time Disney took any chances and played it safe. Hit or miss with The Black Cauldron, but...
Oh, by the way, Ain't Jock's chipped in here. He's gone for Chippendale's Rescue Rangers.
Yes. If you have seen how many hot girls cosplay as Gadget Mouse, you would too.
Hey, but when you're about the cartoons that present legendary subjects in a cartoon form, have you ever seen Ulysses 31?
I've heard of it.
It's the Odyssey, but in a science fiction setting.
And okay, at least I'll have to hunt that down. I know a good place where I can find it. I'll give it a shot. So Doku, you have the last give or take 12 minutes. What do you want?
Well, as far as Gargoyles goes, I liked it because it was a darker show, and at the time I was watching it, I was starting to get bored with the cutesy happy friendship is magic bullshit. I kind of wanted something. I was watching Gargoyles at the same time I was watching the Batman animated series and SWAT Cats. It was just something that appealed to me more as a boy.
Yeah,
is I not allowed to say that anymore?
Ever Rule 34 Callie Briggs SWAT Cats. Don't ever wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Ian Jock saying that Gargoyles was darker than the Batman cartoon, which was trying hard to be dark. I don't think the Batman the animated series was trying hard to be dark at all.
No,
it had its level and it stuck to that.
Yeah,
didn't
it
go
was
too
it was
dark.
it was following off the original. Sorry, not the original. It's following off the tone of the 1989 Burton
Tim Burton.
Batman,
Yeah,
and that's
Yeah,
where
well-
it spawned from, actually. So
that's why I had the Danny Elfman music.
Well, the thing about Gargoyles, sorry, real quick. The thing about Gargoyles that was dark but still appealed to kids, in retrospect, is really kind of fucked as a plot point. All of the main characters are cursed. That they're cursed because they used to do really bad things to human beings, and their penance is defending human beings against literally their own kind, or
Mhm.
something similar to what they are. It's actually a pretty. It's up there with like Dark Crystal, or I would even argue Never Ending Story has a pretty dark concept behind it.
It can do in some points, yeah.
I would honestly say I think a lot of the that's where I bring up the Shakespearean tone about things, is because if you read A Midsummer's Night Dream with Titania and Oberon and all this other stuff, is every character, I would say, probably with the exception of Matt Stone and Elisa Maza, most every character is cursed in a way that is ironic.
And comical.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen any of the British Carry On films from the 60s?
No, but if you shoot me a link on Twitter and messaging, I'll be glad to look it up.
Because that's basically what A Midsummer Night's Dream was. It was a carry-on film. Yeah, sexual innuendo, misunderstandings.
Well, they didn't call it Titania for a reason, because if you ever watch Gargoyles, boy, she had some tits.
I mean, Titania being ensorcelled to fall in love with a guy who's had his head turned into a donkey's head.
Mm-hmm. So, Mad Dodge, we got about 8 minutes left, dude.
Yeah, I'm trying to address the chat. I've been trying to for like 5 minutes. Okay.
Don't let Dodge address the chat.
Yeah, Ain't Jack asked about Chippendale Rescue Rangers. I used to watch that. There was that, Tailspin, Gargoyles. What else was the lineup, the after-school lineup in the 90s, man?
Okay, did you guys ever watch...
I was a damn teenager and pretty pissed off all the time. I didn't know what the hell was going on. That's why I got attached to Gargoyles.
I was in my 20s.
Right. Well, did either of you ever watch The Pirates of Darkwater?
Yes, I love that show. I've got it all downloaded.
I kept meaning to, and I kept missing it.
I'll send you a link to that on Twitter.
Oh, Darkwing Duck. That was on there. And then DuckTales.
What about Duck Dodger from the 21st century?
Well, that was just taken from the
2000s.
I don't care. It was still good.
The Green Lantern.
That was just Duck.
Uh-huh.
And it couldn't have been as good as Animaniacs.
Oh, Animaniacs, Freakazoid, Ren and Stimpy.
I don't know why, looking back on it, because I've rewatched it, but I really liked Doug when I was younger, and Doug is like the most boring cartoon ever made.
I will. You know what? I will donate $25 if you can piss off Doug Walker about that show.
Roger was the best character.
I think Roger secretly wanted to bang Doug.
Rewatch that shit, dude. It is the most boring cartoon. He doesn't do anything ever.
So it's Seinfeld in cartoon form, a show about nothing.
Okay, do you guys remember either Hey Dude or The Adventures of Pete and Pete?
Do you remember Salute Your Shorts? And Clarissa explains it all, because the answer is yes to all four.
Yep. Keenan and Kale. Welcome to Good Burger. I don't care what anyone says. I love that movie as a kid. You're wrong if you disagree.
I have one word for you: Topanga.
Oh, of course you're gonna bring up Boy Meets World.
Thank Christ I was too old to watch that shit.
Dude, I watched Boy Meets World every Friday. It was on TGIF, wasn't it? Yeah.
I was never watching. I was never much of a TV watcher, and the only thing I ever did watch was the double feature of Star Trek: The Next Generation and Deep Space Nine, and then that was pretty much it.
I've sent you an episode of something I used to watch in the 70s when I was a kid called Rhubarb.
Okay. I know rhubarb.
Yep. And Custard the Cat. I mean, that was a kids' program, but that humor is not what you would traditionally think is for kids, is it?
No. Oh, speaking of stuff from Britain, Danger Mouse and fucking Count Duckula. That was the shit.
Yeah. Oh God, when they're in Danger Mouse and Penfold, when they fall into the pit, you can only see their eyes, right? Or one eye in Danger Mouse is pointing. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Danger Mouse! Don't Chief, I'm frightened. Well, hold my hand, Penfold.
What is that claiming?
I know you're frightened, but why are you wearing those fur gloves? I'm not wearing any gloves, DM. Like, it's fucking bear holding their hands.
What's that claymation show that's from over there?
Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
We always knew when the choir teacher didn't want to do anything or he had a hangover, he just wheeled the TV in and put on Wallace and Gromit.
Every time I hear claymation, I think of Gumby, and that show creeped me out as a kid. That shit was unnatural. That shit was weird.
Mr. Bill was fucking unnatural. End of story.
Oh, yeah, no, you're not wrong there either.
All right, so we got about less than 5 minutes. Final thoughts, people. I will go last.
Dodge goes first. His stream.
Yeah, we don't have AMC over anywhere near me. I think there's one up in Portland. So even if our governor wasn't a psycho and allowed us to go to the movies, allowed us to go to the movies, we don't have one near us. So I don't get the whole 15-cent deal. But if it is going to be around you, go. Buy some Sour Patch Kids and take the mask off for the whole movie. You're not going to die. I mean, if you're 90, you probably shouldn't go. All right, just wait. But if you're young and healthy, go to the movies. Have a good time finally. Let's show everybody that this pandemic thing is over. Let's get back to regular life.
Hollywood needs to burn down so that real story writers, real filmmakers, and real actors can get the entertainment industry back on its feet. Next.
And even with $15 or 15-cent tickets, I still don't give a damn. I've got better things to spend my money on.
Money? It's like 15 pennies, bro.
And I've got better things to spend 15 pennies on than give it back to AMC or Hollywood.
Okay. Well, that being said, since I will almost have the last word of this portion, I hope AMC does well, because I know that people work there. They actually want to work, and they don't, and they do like movies. I want them to do well so that people that work there actually can have a semblance of working and, making a little bit of cash and have their own money instead of feeling like fucking garbage because everything else is trying to make them feel like shit. I want the people working there, whether they appreciate the job or not, to have a little bit of self respect and pride, knowing that they've earned a little cash. And I hope AMC does well in this venture. I would say if you're going to watch the CW shows in the Arrowverse, Arrow is probably about the best, and I would suggest people give it a shot. You'd be pleasantly surprised. And it's time that we basically say, you know what, we've been lied to ever since President Trump was elected. I think everybody needs to, show that you have a pair of testicles, dicks out for Harambe.
Well, I think you've probably been lied to ever since President Clinton got elected.
Hey, seriously, I didn't interrupt when you were talking.
Sorry, I thought you'd finished.
Well,
Seriously.
Now I'm finished. Seriously.
No, actually, you sounded like you finished. Otherwise, I wouldn't start talking.
All right, fair enough. But yeah, give Arrow a shot. I think people will be pleasantly surprised.
All right, and thank you everybody in the chat for coming out. Ain't Jack, his last word is we should look into South Korean movies. I don't like reading my movies, so if they dub it in
Because you're
English,
illiterate.
no, actually, I'm not. Thank you very much. But I'm there to watch a movie in my native.
Read a book. Yeah,
You know they come with English dubbing. You know that, right?
some of them, not all of them. I know what you mean, but yeah, I've actually sat through some subtitled movies, and you can enjoy them.
Exactly.
I think the final word should be: if you're going to go to France, make sure to sink some fishing boats.
Good night. Good luck, and we're out of here.